So hello again, class. Okay, so ituloy natin, class. So for today, we're to discuss Module 3, Part 2. Okay? So share ko lang screen, class. Yan. So tuloy natin, class, in terms of yung manufacturing of Portland cement. Okay? Ayan. So, so calcareous and argillaceous raw materials are used in the manufacture of Portland cement. Okay, so examples class ng calcareous materials natin, nandiyan yung cement rock, yung limestone, marl, chalk, tsaka yung marine shell. Okay. Tapos class, meron din tayo ng argillaceous materials. So it consists class of yung silicates of alumina in the form of, so ano ito na yung clay class, yung shale, slate, tsaka yung blast furnace slag. So more or less class, pag sinabing calcareous or like yung calcium. Okay, so dapat class limestone tayo. Okay, so in terms naman class ng argillaceous class, syempre andyan yung silicate at alumina, doon tayo sa clay. Okay, kasi di ba yan yung parang pinaka raw material naman natin kasi in terms of manufacturing. Okay, tapos yung glass, so we have two types. Meron tayong two processes class. So cement can be manufactured class either by the dry process or the wet process. So meron tayong dalawa na. Okay? So unahin natin class yung dry process. So dry process class, the dry process adapted when raw materials are quite hard. Okay? And since the process is slow and the product is costly. More or less class, yeah, limestone and clay are ground to fine powder separately and are mixed. So ito na yung parang pinaka-process natin class, no? So again class, ang pinaka-raw material natin in a way class, again meron tayo ng calcareous tsaka yung argillaceous. So calcium class tsaka yung silicate tsaka alumina. So yung calcareous natin class yung limestone. Okay, tapos yung argillaceous natin class, ito yung clay. So para ang first step daw class, syempre i-grind lang muna siya into a fine powder. Tapos imimix. Okay? Tapos cakes of this paste which contain about 14% moisture are dried and charged into the rotary kiln. Okay? So ito class, so meron tayong tinatawag class na rotary kiln. So ito yung parang pinaka-itsura niya class. Okay? So, meron tayong better picture of rotary kiln. So, tignan natin class. Ito. So, ganito class ang itsura ng kiln natin. Yan. Okay. So, kung titignan nyo class ang pinakagalawan dito, meron tayong apoy. Meron tayong burner class. Ito na class. So, yung kiln natin class, yan yung para pinaka, ito. Siya yung magluluto. Okay. The product obtained from calcination in rotary kiln is the clinker. So, dahil class dito sa ating kiln, dito mabubuo yung clinker natin. Di ba? Para mabuo yung clinker class, kailangan nating magluto. So, dito class, kung titignan nyo dito sa bandang dulo dito, may hot air. Okay? Yan, ninuluto niya class, magbubuga siya dyan. Okay? So, ang pinaka-temperature natin class sa dry process class, okay, dun sa ating luto part is ito. So, meron tayong about 1,400 to 1,500 degrees Celsius. Okay? Yan. Tapos ito na yung following processes. So, meron tayo ng aeration of cement clinker. So more or less, yeah, which is commonly practiced to slake free lime or also causes an absorption of moisture and carbon dioxide. Okay? Tapos class, after nun, i-cool na yung ating clinker to preserve the metastable compounds and their solid solutions dispersed in the dispersion of one solid which are made as clinker is heated. Okay. Tapos class, yung clinker is then cooled and ground. So, i-grind ulit siya. Saan siya i-grind class? So, meron naman tayong tube mill. So, hanapin natin yung tube mill class. So, yun yung susunod na picture. Yan. So, more or less class dito sa tube mill, dito naman na-grind. Okay. So, meron lang tayong picture class ng tube mill. Ito. Ayan. Tube mill class. Ay, pero parang hindi siya yan. O yan siya, pero other variation yan. Okay? So, more or less class sa tube mill, dyan pinipino yung ating So after nang dumaan class sa rotary kiln, balulutuin niya, magiging clinker, tapos dadaan sa aeration chuchu. Tapos diretso na siya class sa tube mill. So sa tube mill, doon na siya i-grind ulit. Okay? Tapos dito class, dito na dinadagdag yung gypsum. So more or less class, nagdadagdag tayo ng gypsum. Bakit? Ang pinaka-use kasi ng gypsum class, ito. So gypsum class, adding gypsum is to coat cement particles by interfering the process of hydration. Okay. So technically, ang pinaka-use ng gypsum class is it retards the setting time of cement. Para hindi masyadong mabilis. Okay, ini-slow niya kasi yung setting time of cement. Okay. So again, class, ganun yung process ng ating dry process of manufacturing cement. So technically, kasi kung titignan nyo, no? Yung limestone tapos clay class, di ba? Lulutuin natin siya class dun sa rotary kiln. Tapos class, i-grind natin siya dun sa tube mills kung saan dadagdagan natin siya class ng gypsum. Okay. So kung titignan nyo, yung limestone, clay, magiging clinker. Okay. So yung clinker class, dadagdagan natin ng gypsum. Tapos yun na. Ipupunta na siya for manufacturing or yung storage class. Ilalagay na siya either sa 40 kilogram bags or yung 50 kilogram bags. Okay. Yeah. So meron tayong video class para mas ma-imagine nyo kung ano yung nangyayari dun sa dry process. So same, no? So meron tayo ng clay, tapos limestone. Okay. Clay tapos limestone, magiging clinker. Okay. Tapos dadagdagan natin siya ng gypsum. So ganito yung tsura ng gypsum class. Yan. Gypsum. Okay. So after niyang maging ganyan class, more or less, i-grind siya sa tube mills. Ayan. Magiging ganito na siya. Okay. So, i-ano natin class. Parang yan. So again class, no? Ayan. Ito yung gypsum. So from that to there, tapos i-add natin to. Dito na siya magiging cement. Okay. So again class, no? Limestone, tapos clay. Okay. Ilagay natin siya class sa rotary kiln. Mabubuo class yung clinker. Yung clinker class, dadagdagan natin ng gypsum. Okay. Ang galawan class, mga 5% gypsum. So 95% clinker, 5% gypsum. Ay, hindi. Sabi pala dito kasi 2 to 3% gypsum. Tapos i-grind siya class paghahaluin yan para maging cement. Okay. Yeah. So, panoorin natin class yung video ng process. Close ko lang lahat to class para hindi. Ayan. Okay, so panoorin natin class yung video ng process. Again, dry process tayo. So technically class sa dry process, wala siyang tubig.
How cement is made. Dry process technology.
Yan. So kung titignan nyo class, ito yung parang pinakagalawan. So itong yan class, yung system na yan, ang galawan lang dito is para magawa yung clinker. So kung titignan nyo sa dulo class, no? Yan. Ito yung clinker, tapos ito yung gypsum. Okay? Tapos yung dalawang yan class, ipupunta pa ulit sa isang planta para mag-grind, tapos ilalagay niya dun sa cement bags. So again class, ito is parang ito yung process class para magawa pa lang yung clinker natin. Okay? So yung whole process na yan class para lang magawa nila ito, yung ating clinker. Yan. Okay, so yung linyang yan class, kung gagaling lang siya, ang pinaka-end product natin is yung clinker. Ito siya class, yun yung nandito. Clinker. Okay, tapos yan class yung gypsum. So more or less, mimix yan class, itra-transports, kaya tito yung may transportation. Okay. Or like, idikit na lang dito. So this time class, nagkataon yung grinding kasi nila yung clinker to gypsum, nasa kabilang side pa. Tapos saka ulit ilalagay class sa bag. Okay. Panoorin natin class yung dry process.
A new plant at western near Oamaru would use dry process technology to produce cement. Limestone and sand or rock is...
So dito class yung parang ano natin, limestone, no? So technically class, kung titignan nyo, meron lang grinding, tapos yeah. So, makikita natin kasi mamaya yung tube mill tsaka yung rotary kiln.
quarried and crushed.
So more or less class, yung parang first process natin is parang i-crush lang siya into smaller bits. Okay?
And transported to storage.
Okay, so more or less class, ang ginawa nila, ika-crush nila yung raw materials natin into smaller bits. Okay? Yan.
Stockpiles near the kiln where pre-blending takes place. Ground and mixed to form.
Technically class, ganito yung itsura ng tube mills natin. So more or less, ang pinaka-use niya class is for grinding, no? Okay, yan.
Powder with moisture content of less than 1%. The raw materials are dried. This powder is fed into the kiln.
Yan. So ito na class yung kiln natin, rotary kiln natin. So more or less class yung mga raw materials natin, di ba, pinagsama-sama sila, naging fine sila. Okay? Tapos yan, lulutuin lang siya class. Okay? So pagkatapos dumaan class ng ating process dun sa rotary kiln, ang labas na nito, magiging clinker na siya.
Where the heat promotes the necessary chemical reactions. The kiln exhaust gases are the main source of heat used to dry the raw materials. This is known as dry process technology because no water is added to the ground raw materials.
So yun yung class, no? Pag no water is added to the raw material class, it is a dry process. So technically class, ganito na yung clinker natin. So malita, no? Dapat clinker siya class. Okay? So more or less class, yung clinker tsaka yung gypsum class, itra-transport dun sa isa pang planta kung saan grind sila class, pinagsasama ulit. Tapos yun na. Inalagay na dun sa mga respective bags nila.
It is the process used by modern cement manufacturing plants. Older cement kilns, including those at our current Westport plant, use a wet process, where the ground material is mixed with water to produce solar.
Okay? So yun yung dry process class. So parang ang again class sa dry process, walang tubig na ginamit, no? Tapos laging meron tayo ng kiln. Okay? Tapos meron tayo ng tube mills dito. Ay, hindi pala yung tube mill. Ito pala yung tube mill class for grinding purposes. Yung kiln naman class for cooking purposes. Para, yeah. Okay? So, ganun class ang ating dry process. Okay? Tapos, after dry process class, meron naman tayo ng wet process. Okay? So, the operation in the wet process of cement manufacture are mixing, burning, tsaka grinding. Okay? The crushed raw materials are fed into the ball mill. So, ito yung bago class, no? May ball mill. Pero technically, kung titignan natin yung flowchart mamaya class, same rin. Pati dun sa dry process class, meron rin tayong ball mill. Okay. Ito yung pinaka-difference nila class. So, in terms of yung dry process, di ba, walang tubig na dinagdag class. Sa wet process class, magdadagdag na tayo ng water dun sa raw materials natin. Okay. Tapos yan. So, kung titignan natin class, ito yung figure 3.8. Ito yung ball mill. Okay. So, sa ball mill class, meron tayong steel balls. Sila yung parang magka-crush class dun sa ating raw materials. Okay. So, basahin na lang natin class yung wet process. So, yun nga. Again, class, on operating the ball mill, the steel balls in it pulverize the raw materials which form a slurry with water. So, yung slurry class, ito yung parang, alam niyo yun sa 7-Eleven class. Okay. So, yung raw materials lang natin class na nadurog-durog tapos nalagyan ng tubig kaya naging slurry siya. Okay? So, this slurry is passed to silos. So, silos class, yeah, ang definition of silo class is parang storage tanks. Okay, where the proportioning of the compounds is adjusted to ensure desired chemical composition. Okay, so again, class, proportioning is very important class because it determines the properties of our cement. The corrected slurry having about 40% moisture is fed into the rotary kiln. So again, class, sa kiln, then yung apoy. Okay, dito na siya lulutuin. So it loses moisture and forms lumps of nodules. So yan na yung clinker. Okay, so dito class, kung titignan nyo, more fuel is used kasi nga, di ba, basa yung ating raw material. So kailangan mas maraming tubig, fuel, compared class sa dry process. Kumbaga, kailangan pa kasi natin kasi super dry eh. So more fuel is used class because the proportion or yung slurry natin class is wet. Kumbaga, it takes more cost. Okay. So this time class, kung kinumpare na sa dry process, diba sa dry process class, ang kailangan natin na heat is 14,000. 1,400 to 1,500. Dito class 1,500 na siya to 1,600. Sabihin na rin natin class because of the presence of the water, dapat mas higher yung temperature niya. Okay? The nodules or yung clinkers natin, change to clinker at this temperature. Clinker is cooled and then ground on the tube mill. So meron rin tayong tube mill sa wet process. Okay? While grinding clinker, about 3% of gypsum. So same class, magdadag rin tayo ng gypsum. Again nga, because it retards the setting time of yung water. The cement is then stored in silos where it is supplied. So parang gano'n yung pinaka-process natin class, no? Okay? So again, ganito yung galawan pag wet process. Okay? So same lang class in a way, parang parehas lang sila ng dry process. Sa wet process lang, yung raw materials natin class, tinatagyan siya ng tubig. So ito yung video ng wet process
The
natin class.
limestone and clay occur together in our quarries at Cape Foulwind. The quarry trucks deliver the raw materials to the crusher, where the rock is crushed to smaller than 100 millimeter, 4 inches.
So titingnan nyo, parang same lang, no? Yung raw materials, na-crush class.
The raw materials are then stored ready for use. Stockpiles near the kiln were
So dito na class yung proportioning natin para makuha natin yung gusto nating type of cement. Okay.
blending takes place. About 80% limestone and 20% clay are.
So again class, ito yung tube mill natin para mag-grind into smaller pieces. So ito yung bago class, no? So this time class, yung raw materials natin, dinadagdagan natin ng tubig. Okay. So yun yung pinaka-difference ng wet sa dry process class.
Ground in ball mills with water, producing very fine, thin paste called slurry.
Slurry.
The chemical composition of the slurry is very carefully
So
controlled.
yan yung slurry natin class, no? So naging slurry siya class kasi yung raw materials natin class nadagdagan ng tubig. So medyo slurry na siya. Okay.
Amount of limestone and clay being used. The slurry is stored in large basins ready for use. The slurry is fed into the upper end of a rotary kiln.
So again class, same sa dry process, dadaanin siya sa kiln. Again, this time lang class, mas maraming fuel yung magagamit kasi nga yung raw materials natin class, wetter siya than that of the dry process. Okay, so more fuel is consumed. Yan na rin yung parang pinaka-cost class kung bakit mas gusto natin yung dry process. It's efficient.
While at the lower end of the kiln, a very intense flame is maintained by blowing in finely ground coal. The slurry slowly moves down the kiln and is dried and heated until it reaches a temperature of almost 1,500 degrees Celsius, producing clinker. This temperature completely changes the limestone and clay to produce new minerals, which have the property of reacting with water to form a cementitious binder.
So yan, more or less, no? Yung parang pagluto natin class, doon siya nagiging parang nako-convert siya into yun nga, cement, which is when added water class, magkakaroon ng chemical reaction. Okay, so parang yan. Ito talaga yung pinaka susi natin class. Kailangan mo siyang lutuin. Para if you add water class, magkakaroon siya ng chemical reaction with water. So doon na siya titigas class. Okay? So same process class kung titignan nyo. Yeah.
Hot clinker is used to preheat the air for burning the coal, and the collate clinker is stored ready for use. The clinker is finally ground with about 5% gypsum in another ball mill.
So same class, no? After the clinker class, dadagdagan ulit ng gypsum. Okay? Tapos i-ground ulit silang dalawa class, tapos ilalagay niya dun sa respective bags nila. Okay? So ganun yung galawan class. Again, ang pinaka main reference difference lang nila talaga class is yung tubig. Okay? So yeah, i-summarize na lang natin yun class. So simple lang siya, no? So this time class, in terms of manufacturing. So manufacture. Yan. Okay. So sa manufacturer class of cement, tulit talaga yan. No? Ang parang pinaka ginagawa lang natin class, di ba? Again, just yung limestone natin. So limestone. Okay. Plus class yung clay. So yung limestone class, saka yung clay. Again class, di ba niluluto natin yan? So lulutuin mo siya class. Yan. So lulutuin siya at a temperature class of 1,500. More or less, no? Degrees Celsius. Okay. So pag niluto mo siya class, yung ating raw materials, nagiging clinker. Clinker. Yan. Okay. Tapos after ng class, di ba, i-grind lang natin. Ay, wait. So yung clinker pala class, dinalagyan natin, diba, dinadagdagan natin class ng gypsum. Yan. Ay, di ba, ang galawan pala natin dito class, di ba, yeah, as discussed a while ago class dun sa first part. Oo. Di ba yung limestone natin class 4:1? 4:1. Saan na nga ulit yan? So, mas madami dapat tayong clay o limestone. Saan na yung 4:1? Ito. So, yung clay to chalk. So, mas marami dapat limestone class. Okay? So, 4:1 class, kung ifo 4:1 natin, so 1/5, 20%. Yung clay. Okay? So, yung clay natin class, 20%. Okay? Yung limestone natin class, syempre, 4/5, 80%. Yan. Okay? Tapos, in terms naman yung clinker natin class, mukhang ayusin ko nga to. Okay. Yung clinker natin class, lock. So yung clinker natin in terms of percentage, 97 kasi di ba gusto natin 3% lang yung gypsum. So ito class 97. 97%. So ang gypsum natin class 3% as per our reference. Okay. So ang gagawin lang natin dito class, i-grind natin. Okay. So pag grind mo, so wait. Grind. Okay. Doon na kasi mabubuo yung gusto natin, yung cement. So, cement. Yan. Okay? So, ganyan class yung parang pinakagalawan ng manufacturing ng cement natin class. So, manggagaling yan class sa limestone tsaka clay. Tapos, syempre, others. Hindi lang naman yung limestone tsaka clay class, no? Tapos, dagdagan lang natin class ng lutuin natin. So, mabubuo class yung clinker. So, yung clinker class, dagdagan natin ng gypsum para bawasan class yung setting time ng cement. Okay? Tapos, i-grind natin class para makuha natin yung gusto nating cement. Okay? So, yung cement natin class, more or less, pag-usapang Pinas. Pag Pinas kasi yan class, dito, ang gusto natin class is 40 kilograms lang siya per bag. Yan. Okay? Yan. Lagi yung class, di ba, diniscuss natin class, meron tayo tinatawag na dry process. Okay, so sa galawang dry process. Delete siya ng 3 seconds. Okay. So sa dry process class, ang pinaka-definition natin class ng dry process is no water. No water is added to the raw materials. So, no water is added to the raw materials. Yan. Okay? So, ganyan class yung nangyayari class sa ating dry process. Technically class in terms of in terms of yung temperature class dun sa kiln. Diba? Ang galaw lang natin dito kasi lower siya. So parang 1400 lang siya class, 1400 degrees Celsius. 215 tayo dito. Yan. So ganyan class kapag dry process, okay? Compared naman class dun sa wet process natin. So wet process. Okay. Okay. So again, class, in terms of wet process, again, ang definition natin dito is yun. Yun nga, meron tayong water. Water is added. Water is added to the raw materials. Okay? Tapos class, kung titignan natin, papansin natin yung temperature dun sa kiln, meron tayong 1.5. So mas mataas siya class compared dun sa dry process. Kasi nga again, para mabawasan class yung ating, kasi kailangan pa natin i-dry up class yung dinagdag nating tubig. Okay? So yan yung parang pinaka-difference nila. Okay? Tapos pag kino-compare natin yung dalawang yan class more or less, no? In terms of kung anong ginagamit natin dito sa Pinas. So the chief advantages class of wet process are the low cost of excavating, the grinding raw materials. Okay, so may advantage rin naman yung wet compared sa dry. Okay? So ito pa, so accurate control of composition of homogeneity of the slurry and the economical utilization of fuel through the elimination of separated drying operations. On the other hand, the longer kilns, essentially in the wet process, cost more and are less responsive to the variable clinker demand than the short kilns, which can be used in the dryer process. Okay. So ito nga class, again, plants in the Philippines. So yung mga cement batching plants natin class, yung mga gumagawa ng cement, use the dry process solely because class fuel cost greater in the wet process than in the dry process. Okay. So ganun. So again class, no? Ngayon natin dito. So yeah. So wet process, yeah. So wet process. Uses more fuel. So thus, yeah, plants in the Philippines, so yung mga PH plants, batching plants, okay, use the dry process. Okay. So technically, yun lang ito yung pinaka-ano class. Siyempre, doon tayo sa mas mura kasi siyempre, ang gusto natin class, tubo. Income. Okay. So, ito yung parang pinaka-ano natin class. So, titingnan nyo class, ito yung parang flowcharts class ng dry process compared sa wet process. Okay. So, kung titingnan natin mabuti class, halos parehas lang actually talaga. Simulan natin sa baba. Diba? Kung titignan nyo dito class, no? Yan, tsaka yun, parehas lang talaga sila. Same class, magdadagdag tayo ng gypsums. Okay? Tapos meron din tayong clinker. So, matic class ganun nun, no? After ng rotary kiln class, andyan na yung clinker. Okay? Yeah, parehas lang talaga. Ang pinaka-difference lang talaga nila class is ito. So, wet process kasi class, meron tayo ng water. Okay? Kasi in terms of no materials naman class or yung equipment, same, no? Gumagamit tayo ng ball mills dito sa wet. Gagamit rin tayo ng ball mills dun sa dry. Gumagamit tayo ng rotary kiln dun sa dry. Gagamit rin tayo ng rotary kiln sa wet. Okay? So ano pa ba yung tube mills? So in terms of tube mills class, both have the same also. Okay? Yeah, so yun lang naman class. Talaga ang pinaka-difference lang dito class. So meron din tayong silos. So yan. Okay. So ang pinaka-difference lang talaga class, Eto. Nagdadagdag tayo class ng water dun sa raw materials natin dito sa wet process. Yeah. And because of that class, more fuel is required for the wet process. So that is the siguro one of the reasons class, pero the major reasons why in the Philippines class we use the dry process in manufacturing our cements. Okay? So yeah. Ituloy natin. Okay? So kung titignan yung class, meron tayong byproduct. So ang pinaka-byproduct natin class, syempre, di ba? Nakasako na siya. So yung mga cement na ginawa natin class through the manufacturing, through the dry or either dry or wet, ang pinaka-end product natin class is cement. Okay? So yung cement natin class, ito. Okay. Ang ano pa rin pala natin class is yan. Ayan. Diba? Yan class. So ganito, ito more or less, ang alam ko ito yung pinakasikat class na brand natin sa Pinas, Holcim. Okay? So ganyan pa rin class yung parang pinaka-end product natin sa manufacturing natin. Okay? Pag-usapan naman natin class ano yung types ng Portland cement. So technically class cements of unique characteristic for desired performance is in a given environment or being manufactured by changing the chemical composition of the ordinary Portland cement. So OPC class means ordinary Portland cement. Okay? Or by using additives. So technically, change natin class, pwede na tayo magdagdag ng additives. So it's either we change class yung raw materials natin or magdagdag tayo ng additives. Okay? Or by using yan, different raw materials. So as per ASTM class, no, meron tayong classification. So actually, meron pa, pero i-cut lang natin class dito sa 5. So ang classification natin class ng types of Portland cement, idaan natin class sa number, Roman numeral numbers. Okay? So meron lang tayong 5 classifications, namely class yung type 1, 2, 3, 4, tsaka 5. Okay? So ang names nila class, type 1 is known as the ordinary Portland cement. Type 2 class yun yung moderate sulfate resistant or moderate heat cement. Type 3 class is known as the rapid hardening cement. Type 4 class is known as the low heat cement. Tapos yung last class, type 5, sulfate resistant cement. So more or less class, every type has their own unique use. Kumbaga, parang merong instances class kung kailan sila ginagamit. Kaya rin sila pinuduce class for that certain situation. Okay? So again class, pag-usapan natin yung type 1. So ito class yung ordinary Portland cement. Okay? It is the cement best suited to general concreting purposes. Okay? So kapag walang special class, hindi siya special situation or like yung normal situation lang, ang lagi natin ginagamit class is yung ordinary Portland cement or yung type 1. Okay? So siya kasi class, siya yung pinakamura. Kasi parang wala ka nang gagalawin dun sa ating raw materials, hindi ka na rin magdadagdag additives. Parang ito yung pinaka-ordinary. Kaya naman siya tinawag na ordinary cement. Okay? So, ginagamit siya class for general concreting purposes. Examples class sa pavements, sidewalks, reinforced concrete, bridges, rail structures, tanks, reservoirs, culverts, rivers, water pipes, saka masonry units. Okay? So, type 2 class, ito yung tinatawag nating moderate sulfate resistant or moderate heat Portland cement. Okay? So saan siya ginagamit class? It is used where precaution against moderate sulfate attack is important. Okay? So mga hindi high, kasi kung titignan nyo, meron tayong sulfate mismo. So parang ito siguro yung gitna. Okay? Yung hindi siya masyadong wala masyadong sulfate attack. Yung sakto lang, moderate lang. Okay? Yan. So it is also used in structures of considerable mass. Okay? So saan siya ginagamit class? So kung titignan nyo yan, yung large piers, heavy abutments, heavy retaining walls. Okay? So technically class, it will reduce the temperature rise, especially important when concreting is placed in warm weathers. Okay, so kung titignan nyo kasi yung type 2, medyo hindi siya specialized. Okay, kumbaga, siya yung next na pinaka-ordinary. Okay, type 3 class, meron tayong tinatawag na rapid hardening. Okay, so rapid hardening Portland cement. Okay, from the name itself, class, suitable for repair. Parang yung mabilis siyang tumigas. Okay, so saan siya ginagamit, class? Suitable for repair of roads and bridges. And when load is applied in a short period of time. Okay, so kumbaga, yeah, yung parang gusto natin matapos agad. Siyempre, pag roads kasi yan, class, or bridges, abala yan kapag i-repair mo, tapos ang tagal-tagal mong rini-repair. Siyempre, dapat mabilisan. Okay. The cost, class, in terms of yung ordinary cement, mas mahal lang siya ng 10%. Okay. So, maganda rin, class, na gamitin ang ating rapid hardening cement, class, to in terms of yung frost. Okay. Kumbaga, it matures quickly kasi it provides high strength at an early period. Kumbaga, pag malamig, class, no? So, concrete made with RCP can be safely exposed to frost. Kumbaga, frost resistant siya in a way. Okay, so second to the last class, yung type 4. So, low heat Portland cement is most suitable for large mass concrete works, which loosely be defined as concrete in which the minimum dimension is greater than 1,000 mm. Mm ba talaga to? Hindi ata, dapat ata meter to eh. Kasi 1,000 mm is just 1 meter, such as dams. So ito yung examples natin, class, no? Yung mga malalaking raft foundation. Yeah. Okay, so doon sila ginagamit. Kumbaga kasi yung temperature is resulting to heat generate is during curing is clear as a critical factor. Okay, so pag malaki ang buhos, kas mas maganda daw yung low heat Portland cement. Kasi the rate of development of the strength is slow but the ultimate is the same as temperature rise resulting from heat generated is critical factor. Okay? Tapos yung last type natin, class, again, meron tayo ng sulfate resistant cement. Okay. So sulfate resistant is most suitable for the use where it's severe. So ito naman, class, meron tayong severe sulfate action. Okay. So examples natin, class, is yung foundation in sulfate-bearing soils, mortar for flues, in which sulfur may be present from fumes. Okay? And in marine structures, since sea contains sulfate. Okay? Tapos may note tayo, class, in terms of concrete pipe tsaka yung precast manufacturing. So more or less, ito kasi hindi siya specialized. So gagamitin lang natin, class, yung type 1 kasi yung type 1, di ba, yung general use. Tapos type 2, ito yung not so general use. Okay? Yan. So again, class, kung isa-summarize natin, summarizing, class, no, in terms of types of cement. So sa types of cement. Portland cement na lang, lagyan natin ng Portland. Yan, Portland cement. Okay, so meron tayong 5. Okay, as per the ASTM tayo, di ba, class? So meron tayong tinatawag sa type 1. Type 1. So gagamit tayo, class, ang gamit natin is yung Roman numerals. Okay, tapos syempre meron din tayo as ng type 2. Okay. Type 2. Okay, tapos meron tayo class type 3. So meron tayong 5 types. So again, class, again, ang Roman numerals tayo. So kompletuhin ko lang, class, no? Tapos type 4. Tapos lastly, class, syempre yung type 5. Ayan. Okay. So ano yung type 1 natin, class? Ito yung tinatawag nating ordinary Portland cement. Okay, so ordinary Portland cement. Okay. Type 2 naman, class, ito yung moderate. Okay, so ayan tayo ng moderate. Sulfate resistant. Sulfate resistant. Okay, or yung moderate heat cement. Okay. Tapos type 3 class, ito yung rapid hardening cement. So rapid hardening cement. Okay. Type 4 class, ito naman yung low heat. Low heat. Oh. Yeah, low heat cement. Okay. Tapos lastly class, syempre, ito yung sulfate resistant na siya. Sulfate resistant cement. Yan. Okay. So titignan nyo class yung pinaka-use nyo more or less andun sa pangalan. So ordinary cement class, kaya siya ordinary, ito yung pinakamura class. For general use siya. So kumbaga yung mga hindi specialized na concrete pouring. Okay. Yung moderate namang class, sulfate resistant or yung moderate heat technically, andito sila. So kung titignan nyo yung type 4 tsaka type 5 class, di ba yung low heat? Bayan yung low heat kasi more or less ito yung mga malalaki. Okay. So kapag hindi ganun ka low heat yung kailangan mo class, moderate heat lang, dito tayo sa type 2. Tapos kung titignan yung type 5 class, di ba, sulfate resistant. So kung moderate sulfate resistant lang yung kailangan mo, type 2 tayo. Kung baga yung type 2 class, ito siya yung medyo lower version class, yung hindi masyadong demanding na type 4 tsaka type 5. Okay. Yung type 3 naman class, syempre rapid hardening. So, ito yung mga gusto natin class kapag gusto mong tumigas agad. Mas solidify agad class yung ating cement. So, sa roads and bridges yan class, no? Parang gusto mo short period of time lang yung magamit. Tapos pwede mo nang gamitin yung kung ano man yung structure na yun. Okay? Low heat cement naman class, diba yun nga? Sa pang heat of hydration kasi ito class. Okay? Low heat, ito yung mga malalaki. Large mass of concrete works. Okay? So pag malakihang buhos yan class, ang example natin class, di ba, yung mga dams, diba? Kung titignan yung dams class, malalaki yan. Malakihang buhos class, ang gusto natin dito, low heat tayo. Ang pinakaano kasi ng low heat class, mabagal yung parang yung rise in temperature natin class. Okay. Okay. Tapos type 5 naman class, again, kapag meron tayong sulfur attack. Okay, kasi more or less class, diba, sulfate. Yan, severe sulfate action. Sinisira niya kasi yung ating concrete or yung cement in a way. Okay? So yan class yung 5 types of cement natin. So kung titignan yung example kanina class, anong type to ng cement? Ayan, ito. So, di ba kung titingnan nyo sa market, ang pinakasikat talaga is yung type 1. Okay? Kasi class, syempre, general use tayo. Madalang rin lang kasi yung mga may specialized concrete pouring, no? So, ayan. So, kung titingnan nyo, kasi di ba ito yung pinaka, saan mo to? Ayan. So, ito yung pinakasikat na type ng cement natin, di ba, class? So, anong type yan? So, medyo malabo to, no? Doon na lang tayo sa isa kasi mas, ano yan, yan. Yan, tignan nyo, class, yan. So, ano yan, class? So, kung titignan nyo, class, type 1P. 1 yan, class, no? 1P. Okay? So, anong meaning, class, ng 1P? So yung meaning ng 1P dito, class, it stands for Philippines. Okay? So pag nakita ka ng type 1P, so yeah, hindi naman siya super special. Type 1P. Okay? So ang meaning lang nung P dito, class, Philippines. Ito, P stands for, class, Philippines. Okay? So ang meaning lang, class, ng type 1P, yeah, it is type 1 cement exclusively made in the Philippines. Exclusively. So sa madaling sabi, class, type 1 lang siya. Okay? Kung baga type 1 lang siya, dito lang sa Pinas ginagawa. Exclusively produced. In the Philippines. Yun lang yung meaning, class, niyan. So, kung tinitignan nyo, class, no, pag bibili ka ng semento, yan, type 1P. Okay, ibig sabihin, class, type 1 cement siya na ginawa exclusively dito sa Pinas. Okay? So, para added ka na rin, class, magkano ba ang isang bag ng cement? Kano ang isang bag ng cement, class? Yeah, ang 1 bag ng cement, class, ito sa Pinas, no? So sa Pinas pala, class, ang ginagamit nating semento, yung 40 kilograms. Yan, 40 kilograms, class. Okay? 40 kilograms. Tapos magkano siya, class? So ang price dito sa Pinas, at the moment, paiba-iba kasi yan eh. Mga 200. Okay? Actually, pag pupunta ka sa app ko, class, ang price niya ngayon is 198 pesos per bag. Okay? Ito yung wholesale. Pag hindi yan wholesale, class, ang benta nila, mga 215. Pupunta ka sa hardware malapit sa inyo. Ganyan. Malaki rin yung patong nila, no? Yan yung price, class, ng 40 kilogram bag ito sa Pinas. Okay? So, ituloy natin, class. So, after natin discuss, class, yung type ng cement, discuss rin natin yung storage. Okay? So, in terms of storage, class, Portland cement must be kept in sacks. And ito na pala is kept in sacks of ito, 0.028 cubic meter or 1 cubic meter, class, na bags. So, ang laman niyan, class, pag kinilo mo, 40 kilograms or 0.035 cubic meter. Yan naman na, class, yung 50. So, technically, class, it's either 40 kilograms or 50 kilograms. Okay. Tapos, these are stored in short period of time. So, preferably, class, ang storage lang dapat, supposedly, no? 3 months. Kasi, class, more or less, kung titignan nyo yung table 3.5. Okay? The longer, kasi, class, na ini-store natin yung, yung cement, humihingi na, class, yung strength niya. So, kung titignan nyo, class, no, i-store mo lang siya ng 3 months, bawas agad ng 20%. 28 days strength niya. Pag 6 months, class, 30. Pag 1 year, 40. So pag 5 years, 50% na. Okay, so syempre gusto natin, class, dapat we don't store it for longer period of time. Okay? Tapos yun, class, gusto natin, class, i-store natin siya in an airtight room, avoiding moisture and dampness. So syempre, class, diba, ang number 1 kalaban kasi, class, ng semento, tubig or moist. Okay. Tapos, class, it should be at a distance of 300 mm from walls. Okay. So, gusto natin, class, wag mo siyang idikit sa wall. Kasi minsan, class, yung wall, nag-moist yan. Siyempre, class, pag nag-moist, again, tubig ulit yan. Okay. Tapos, at some height from the floor. So, height from the floor, class, ito, 150 mm to 200. Okay. The stock should be covered with suitable covering. So, again, class, para gusto mo talagang maprotektahan, class, coveran mo siya ng plastic. Okay. To avoid circulation of air to the stock and not Tapos dapat class daw yung stock natin. So pag pinagpatong-patong natin siya class, not more than 10 bags. So mas magandang at most 10 bags lang daw siya. Okay. Tapos ito class yung pinakamahalaga. Again class, di ba gusto natin from the floor. Wag kasi natin siya class ididikit sa floor. So pag naka-stack sila class, wag natin sila idikit sa floor. Dapat meron tayong tinatawag na wooden platform or tinatawag natin class na pilote. Pilote ba tayo? Oo. So kapag nasa construction site tayo class, no, tapos nagbababa sila ng semento, dapat wag nilang ilapag class dun sa floor mismo. Dapat lagi class may kahoy yan. Or i-elevate mo class. Maganda kasing kahoy class kasi ang kahoy hindi masyado nag-moist. Okay? So ayun. So, dapat class naka-elevate siya ng mga 6 inches or 150 to 200 mm from the floor to avoid direct contact. Okay? So kumbaga class, meron tayong pictures dito, no? Yan. So una, again class, ang pinakaayaw natin mangyari, ito. Yung magka-moisture siya. Kasi again class, di ba may chemical reaction class ang water sa cement. So malagyan lang yan ng konting tubig class, titigas na siya. Kaya kung titignan nyo class, mabasa yan, titigas siya, magiging bato na siya. Hindi mo siya magagamit. Yan class, kung titignan nyo, buo-buo na siya. Okay? Tapos class, in terms of yung ito yung parang pinaka-ano natin class. Yan. So ang gusto natin class, no? So dapat 1 foot or 300 mm siya class. 300 mm from the wall. So kapag meron tayong wall, di ba? Yan. So 1 foot or 300 mm class. 30 centimeter. Tapos in terms of stock, so ito yung isang stock class, no? Dapat ang maximum tayo class of 4. I mean 10. Ito, 10 bags. Okay? Tapos again class, ito, in terms of yung distance from the floor, 150 to 200. Oh, so tingnan natin minimum 150 kaya 6 inches. So ito yung wooden plank class. Dapat laging hindi siya nakadikit. Pilote agad yan class. Kaya matik kasi yan yung number 1. Huwag mong ibababa class yung semento dun sa floor. Dapat meron siyang wooden platform. Okay? Yan, ano pa ba yung pictures natin? Tapos in terms of yung stacking, meron tayong ganito. So maganda daw class na i-kamada. Kamada mo siya gas ng ganito para hindi yan. Pero mahirap naman na ganyan. Siyempre pag nagbubuhat ka kasi ikaw taga-buhat, hindi mo na siya maayos ng ganyan. So more or less class, yeah. Pero ito yung preferred natin, no, nakakamada siya. Parang interlocking. Okay? Parang nagagawa lang natin class ganito. Siyempre mabigat rin kasi piman eh. Okay? Pag ikaw na yung trabahador class, hindi mo na iisipin na ikamada pa. Parang ginagawa na lang nila kasi ini-stack talaga na ganyan lang. Parang wala nang interlocking. O, hindi naman yan masyadong mahuhulog eh. Hindi naman siya kabiti if ever. Okay? Pero yan, ito yung parang suggestion nila. Okay? So technically class, tapos meron pala tayo. So meron din dito, no? If cement is stored longer, tutuloy natin yung ating ano. So if cement daw class is stored longer, cement stored longer time and strength is found to be reduced, then it is not good for construction. But however, it can be reactivated. So more or less class, may gamot pala yan. Anong tawag natin dun sa gamot class? Yung vibro grinding. Okay, that is one of the solutions. So improves the finest quality for longer period of storage. Okay, it makes it fit for construction purposes. Okay. So technically class, bags natin should not be stored in open places. So kung gusto natin gawan siya ng bahay class, preferably mag-design tayo ng shed for the whole sole purpose class ng storage. Okay? So ano yung gusto natin class dun sa ating specially designed storage shed? So dapat class waterproof yung ating floor, yung roof tsaka yung wall. So waterproof dapat ito tsaka yun class. Okay. So pag wall kasi class, di ba meron tayo ng cementitious waterproofing. Kumbaga kahit uulan-ulan yan class, hindi siya magmo-moist. Meron tayo ng waterproofing yan class. Okay. Tapos the floor should be well above ground level. So more or less gusto niya i-elevate natin. Kung ito yung natural ground level, plus i-elevate mo siya ng konti. Parang ganyan. Small windows. So small windows tayo class with airtight doors should be provided. Proper drainage should be provided inside and outside the shed to drain water. In general class, 1 bag of cement contains 40 kilograms of cement. Ganyan sa Pinas class. Okay? 20 bags of cement will require 1 cubic meter of storage. So ito yung pag magde-design ka na talaga class, kung gusto mo kunin yung floor area, ganito yung gamitin natin. So based on this class, yun, dimensions of storage are defined. Okay? So titignan nyo class, meron siyang actually. Yeah. Kung gusto mo daw class, isang pile is 8 sacks, ganito yung first pile, ganito yung second pile. Parang ganito mo siya ikamada. Gusto nyo lang alternate class. Para hindi kumbaga ayaw, para hindi ganyan. Kasi more or less siguro pag may nahulog na isa class, hulog yung buong stack. So para may iwasan natin yun class, ganito yung galawan natin. So pag 5 sacks per pile, yan. Titignan nyo class, pag pinagpatong mo yung first pile sa second pile, parang alternate lang sila. Okay? So i-summarize natin class yung mga pinagsasabi natin. Ay, tanong pala class, bakit 40? Okay, summarize na lang muna natin class. Okay? So this time class, usapang storage naman tayo. So, range. Grabe, delete lang yung 3 seconds. Anyway class, in terms of storage class, meron tayong guidelines. Okay, so ano yung guidelines natin class? So number 1. Technical guidelines. So it is stored class into 40s. Dalawa lang yung choice natin, either 40 kilograms or 50 kilogram bags. Okay. Tapos in terms of volume class, no, ang volume natin class dito is, yeah, pag 40 kilograms yan class, 0.028 cubic meter ng cement ito. Okay. Kapag namang class 50 kilogram bag, 0.035 cubic meter of cement. Okay. So titignan nyo class, ang specialty is yung 40 kilograms. Ito rin yung dahilan class kung bakit. Yan yung ginagamit natin. Kasi pag kinonvert mo to class yung 0.028 kilograms ay that cubic meters, equal yan class sa 1 cubic feet. Okay? So ano yung significance class pag equal siya sa 1 cubic feet? Naalala nyo class yung concrete mix natin, di ba? Ang concrete mixes natin class, nagra-run siya from 1. So yung class A concrete natin class. Class A concrete. Okay, di ba? Ang halo natin class 1:2:4. Ano bang meaning class ng 1:2:4? Di ba ang meaning lang yan class? Yeah. 1 cement. Di ba yung 1 dito is 1 cement. Yung 2 class is sand. Okay. Yung 4 class is gravel. So ito class actually yung proportion na yan in terms of volume. Volume ito. Okay. Kung titignan nyo class, naalala nyo, di ba? Meron tayong tinatawag class na measuring box. Ito. Yung measuring box natin class. Di ba? Ito yung ginagamit natin class para makuha natin yung concrete mix na 1:2:4. Ano ba class ang measurement nito? Actually class, itong measuring box, tinatawag natin cubic feet measuring box. Kasi class, ito is 1 foot by 1 foot. Yung height niya is 1 foot, yung width niya is 1 foot, yung length niya is 1 foot. Okay? So kung titignan nyo class, ang volume niya is 1 cubic feet. Okay? Kaya nga rin class, dito sa Pinas, ang ginagamit natin class is 40 kilograms at hindi 50. Dahil class dito sa measuring box. Kasi kung gagawa tayo ng measuring box class niya, dapat ang measurement niya class is 1 cubic feet. Tapos para rin madali nating magawa class or makuha yung class ng concrete mix, 40 tayo, hindi 50. Kasi pag 50 class, sobra na tayo. Hindi na siya ganyan. Kumbaga, hindi ka na 1, kumbaga itong 1 class, ang meaning na lang yan is 1 bag. Kasi classmatic na, yung 40 kilogram bag, 1 cubic feet na yun. Okay? So yun lang yung purpose class kung bakit 40 kilograms yung ginamit natin, hindi 50 watt. Bakit again class? Kasi matic class, ang pinaka-volume ng 40 kilogram cement bags, matic na 1 cubic feet. Eh yan na yung ginagamit natin class doon sa concrete mix natin. Okay? Yan. So para ang meaning ng 1:2:4 class, 1 bag of cement, kasi sure na tayo na yung 1 bag na yun is 1 cubic feet of cement. Okay. Equal yan class sa 2 cubic feet of sand tas 4 cubic feet of gravel. So parang in simple terms class, 1 bag cement, 2 sand ng measuring box, tas 4 na sa measuring box ng gravel. Okay. Yun na yung class A concrete. Pag pinaghalo mo yan class, yan na yung class A concrete. Okay. So number 2 class. Okay. So number 2 guideline natin class in terms of storage, gusto daw natin, cement should be stored for at most 3 months. 3 months only. Okay. So gusto natin class more or less ganyan. Kasi again class, the longer you store the cement, the weaker it is. Diba? May table tayo dito class. Yan. Okay. Pero again class, may ways naman class to reactivate. Kumbaga para makuha niya ulit yung strength niya. More or less, kailangan lang natin makuha ulit kung ano yung fineness quality ng cement na yun. Okay. Number 3 class, guidelines. So dapat class distance natin yung cement. Yung stock ng cement natin class 300 mm from walls. Yan. Okay. Number 4 class, again yung pilote natin, no? Ito yung pinakamalaga. Again class 150 mm from floor. So 150 mm class from floor. Okay. So para magawa natin yun class, yung 150 mm from floor, eto. Dapat meron tayo nito. Yan. Titignan nyo class, yan ang pilote. Wooden platform dapat class. Laging ganyan, matik yan class pag nasa site kayo. Huwag kayong pumayag class na ibaba lang nila sa floor. Kasi ang resulta niyan class, kung titignan nyo nasa pinakababa, yung pa nauubos to, matigas na. Bato na yan. Hindi na siya semento. Kasi nga class, sinisip-sip sa yung moisture class ng floor. Okay? Okay. Tapos class, lastly, number 5. Gawa tayo kasi ng specially designed. Store natin sa class na specially designed storage sheds. Storage. Nasulat ka, no? Sheds. Ayan. Okay. So technically kasi yan yung guidelines natin in terms of yung storage class ng ating cement. Okay. So with this class, yeah. Stop natin dito class, no? So this will be part 2 class of module 3. Tuloy natin class module. Yeah, ituloy natin yung module, yung part 3 din sa testing. Okay? Again class, thank you for staying. See me at the next video. So this is the end of module 3 part 2. Bye!